Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is lead generation tool using Java, Excel, and Access. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Ramesh Rajamani, founder and owner of KnowledgeKin.com and Chuckdoos.com. Mr. Ramesh Rajamani has over 11 years of experience in software development lifecycle in various industries, which include banking, insurance, PLM, yellow publication, retail, construction, mobile, etc. His focus in the past years has been cloud computing, Salesforce, Cloudbased, Cloud Foundry, Google Drive, Dropbox, etc. And he has also written articles for software developer magazine Pollen. He is the founder and owner of KnowledgeKin.com, Chuckdoos.com. Ramesh is the product owner of Know Your Kin, that is a lead generation tool. He also volunteers for non-profit organizations, Hospice, Meals on Wheels Atlanta, and has also done technical service for akhilagokulam.org and umeter.com. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker, Mr. Ramesh Rajamani. Over to you, Mr. Rajamani.
Thank you, Mohini. Good afternoon, one and all of you. Let's quickly move on to the agenda today. The topic is the first topic we are going to see is the introduction to the Know Your Kin. I just wanted to introduce you to the Know Your Kin, and we can also see the use cases, the different use cases and the dimension and the process maps. And the next one is we can see the system requirements to run the software, basically. So and the next one is we can now also see the console and the running of Know Your Kin and the implementation details of the Know Your Kin as well. So basically, the Know Your Kin is a tool that helps you to extract and organize your LinkedIn professional information to facilitate strategic decision making. So the key here is the difference between the information and the knowledge is in application. Basically, we believe that data can be transferred into the usual useful information, and also I believe that the publicly available information needs some privatization. We can see the use cases, different use cases of Know Your Kin. So basically, we have a regional targeting. Basically, if you wanted to have the user needs to reach out to connect from a specific region. For example, you can also extract from the Know Your Kin, you can extract the location and the phone number of connects, different connects. So the product targeting is also one of the use cases of Know Your Kin. You have the user needs to find out the interested party for the certain product. For example, you can target this company using Know Your Kin and also the education to help to match interests. It also used in the recruitment industry as well. So it's basically the user needs to find out the possible candidate for a certain specified skills. We can extract the skill from Know Your Kin. So also we can also have the executive connect. The user needs to monitor his executive connect for the business development purposes. We can have the Know Your Kin to extract the position and the current share of the connects. We can also think of a different dimension of of these NoAkin is being attached to different entities. So we come up with a lot of different ideas, and also the publicly available information can be made use of. So the for instance, IAM account, we can also have an IAM account to chat with the for the customer service to use the IAM account chat. So also we can a specific person can also build the application around this entities. So the process map here is basically it starts with you access the developer and the user key from the LinkedIn, and the token generation is done in the LinkedIn, and basically you get the execution and the filing and the database is done in the NoAkin part of it. So the process and the output is being done. The input is the LinkedIn data as a developer key, as a form of a developer key. We have different system requirements here. So your system has to have the JDK 1.6 to run, and we have a Git bash, which is basically a source repository where we get the source from the NoAkin product. So the Dropbox also is one of the cloud tribe which I have implemented recently. So the Access.wmv 2003 and above is the configuration which you need for the system to run. So the Excel 2003 or and above is needed for data orchestration. So when you get into the coding aspect of it, we need basically the developer ID and the security key from the LinkedIn. This is the URL to get in to get the API key and the secret key for a specific API from the LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn access store is being created using the access key property file to be changed within the folder of NoAkin. So you give the access key and the access secret key basically into the NoAkin folder. So these are the console of the system. Basically, you have a single extraction, which is one of the option of NoAkin. Is used to extract a single data set. Basically, if you wanted to have a connection data set, you can pull the connection, or if you wanted to have a language data set, you can pull the language data set. You can also have a default bulk extraction where you extract the whole bunch of the data from the LinkedIn. For example, a connection language and also other entities like IM chat and all that. So we can also have a single extraction with the record parameter where you specify the record parameter, how many records you wanted to pull from the LinkedIn. So you give 3 parameter, you pull all these record set from this LinkedIn. So you have the bulk extraction as well, so you can use the bulk extraction with the record parameter. We pass the record parameter with the bulk parameter as well. So you have a bunch of entity as well as you specify the record for each and every entity to be pulled. And you have a single extraction with the time parameter where you basically concentrate on different time zones of pulling the data. Basically, this option is used to extract a single data set where the user can update an existing table with an updated data after a given date. So for every date, you can pull the information. Also, you have a bulk extraction with a time parameter where you can pull different entities, as I said, and other parameters. So you have a single extraction with a record and time parameter where you have extracting a single data set from the LinkedIn with a user-defined record number in one table, and update the data based on the user-defined time parameter. So you can specify the record and a record parameter and the time when you wanted to extract. Likewise, you can do that for bulk extraction. I want to show you some, after this I want to show you some console for these applications. So the throttle limit is basically it's a limit or defined by the source API system. Here in our case is LinkedIn. It's our source API system. And every entity has a certain limits that user can query for. And it varies for a different entity. So in NoYakin, you can pass the throttle limit parameter to dynamically fetch the data. So here we can dynamically fetch the data and we can pass the throttle limit. So every system, the source API system has a throttle limit, which constrains you to pull the data sequentially, basically. So in your NoYakin, different entities has a default throttle limit set. So your user need not specifically limit the while running the applications. So this is a console which I talked about. This is a desktop version of that console, NoYakin, where you can specify the parameter and it pulls the information. It's a single data set as well as bulk data set. Also, we can include the time parameter in it. So you can also have the updated data. You can also delete the data as well. So from the LinkedIn. So you can also specify the default single XML data extraction. Here, for example, I give 4 as a language. We extract the language parameter as like this. So we extract the language XML data into the folder. It can be the drive, the cloud drive, as well as your local system. So this is how it looks in the local system, for example. So so you have XML data where you have the directory structure languages and the language XML, which you can see. Suppose if you have more records, so you get to see language 1 and language 2 and language 3, so on and so forth. So this is the data orchestration part of it, where you have the Excel sheet in place where it basically get into these folders, XML folders, and pull the data, basically. So we can have the macro here. So you have the load, click on the load data, it extract all the data set from the LinkedIn. So we have a base connections, base current share, and you have all other entities as well. So if you wanted to have if you wanted to pull separate entities, you can do that by importing into the Excel sheet one by one. So this is the data look like for a language, for ID and ID3. So ID3 is basically is a unique number for a particular person ID. So after this, we have import the Excel sheet into the data source. Basically here in our case it's Access.wmv, where we import these as a base data for us to query against these data. So you have different parameters where you have different macros. Sorry, you have different macros where you can run your query. So you have a data insert and also data um, data updation as well. So if you can see here, you can also have a execute insert SQL where it bulk insert the data from the LinkedIn. Here is the final output of the Access DB where you transfer all the data from base language from the Excel sheet linkable table to the language table. So this is an implementation of your KIN basically. So you have the client component where you have a KIN contact as a client component. It basically contact the remote component in the drive basically. So you have the KIN contact, KIN extract, which has the link to the actual resource KIN and Access Store resources. So from there, we basically pull all the XML data into the directory structure, and the data orchestration is done in Excel sheet as shown in the previous slides. So these Excel data has been orchestrated in the Excel sheet and put into different DBs, includes Access as well. So this is how we abstract the calls to the resource in the remote drive. So we have, I named it as an inception coding in the sense like, you have different links. Say KIN contact has a link to the different component, namely KIN extract component. So it basically calls the KIN extract component, which has the link itself, and which basically calls the actual resources at the Access Store and the Know Your KIN resource. So these are all the extraction resources, which is contacted by KIN extract component. So the KIN component, the KIN contact is one of the component where you can run it from your local drive as well as from the cloud drive. Basically, if you run from the local drive, you have a straight process where you basically abstract the string parameter by passing the KIN parameter to call file URL, where it basically runs the jar file to contact these call file URL, where you pass these parameter, where you basically give the KIN fetch jar equal to KIN's extract. Basically, here you abstract the call by passing the KIN fetch.jar to KIN extract.jar. So basically, the URL is being called after you build the URL from the Dropbox or from your local base URI. So you pass this URL and basically it creates a URL object where you pass this URL object to jar class loader. So to Here we load the component from the remote drive. So we have to have the main class to be pulled from the jar file. So we get the main class from the jar class loader object. So we get the main class name into a string, and that string has been passed to the invoke class method, which has been passed, and we can also pass this argument to the method. Here we have the load component from the remote drive from the client, basically, or from the drive, as I said. So here you have the class jar loader extends these URL class loader, where we have the jar class loader URL has been passed to it. We can create an instance out of the URL which we have passed. So that has been abstracted from you by means of a parameter call. So here you have a public get main method where get main class name, where it basically pulls the name of the specific resources within the jar file. If your URL is not equal to null, then you basically have these connection within the connection object is being created for you. If you have a drive sitting in a Dropbox or even in a Google Drive, you can connect these jar file, and we can get these attributes of the specific component, and you can return these component as a string to invoke a class, which basically written on top of the Reflect APIs. So these is being pulled, the method has been pulled, and the main method has been pulled from the main class, basically from the component, which has been set accessible is equal to true, and which lets you add the parameter out of it. So how to use the oAuth effectively using a simple Java class is this. Basically, we have different entities where you have some kind of disconnect if you use a RESTful web services. Say if you have using the URL of a specific URL for a specific entity, for example a connection entity, you have to log in every time to access the resources from the LinkedIn. So for that case, we come up with different ideas where you store your LinkedIn authorization in your client machine or the drive itself. That's when I come up with this kind of code where you pass these hash map, the authorization, the user key and the user secret key has been passed to the hash map. And the authorization, the LinkedIn authorization has been done, and it's been passed through this get access token, and this access token has been accessed through OAuth services. Basically, you have this service builder and provider to access the LinkedIn API class, where you pass these hash map and get API call from these hash map table, where you get the API secret key as well. So here you get the service, OAuth service, and you get the request token out of the OAuth services, and you get the request token object, which is then being verified across the users, basically, who signed in to the Know Your Kin. So they will have some kind of a token where they have to verify with the LinkedIn. So these kind of process has been simplified, where in Know Your Kin you access only once. These resources need not to be over and over. You don't need to log in, or you don't you use these service object again and again. So for that purpose, we have a object output stream where we write these access sub file within the drive itself, or within the local object, local system itself, where we write these access sub file, and you can pass this object input stream. Basically, you can access this access sub file from object input stream, where you invoke these object input stream from the different class, as well as from different other than main class which you expose to the client. And we can also read these object input as an access token object. So which has been converted into a token object. So how do we create an XML from the REST call? Basically, we can create XML from the REST call by by using a get user LinkedIn XML data, the API which is created for Know Your Kin. And you pass these file name and the file directory, where it basically identifies the file name and the file directory within the drive or within the system. We can also pass these services and the token, access token, where it basically it identifies the access token from the local system as well. Whenever the application is running, it generates the access stuff file. And whenever you exit from the sub file, it basically deletes these access sub file. So you have the request object being generated out of the service object, and that in turn is converted into a response object, where you get the body of that the RESTful service. Basically, you get to see a bunch of an XML as a data. So you have the string parameter, where you create a document build factory object and pass these string to the document to the new string reader, and pass this into input source object. And to create a document out of it. So this document object is basically is then used later part of it, where we pass this document to the source DOM source and create a source object. So this source object is then being used for transforming to the destination as an XML file, where we get the XML file here in XML file format, where you pass this parameter and we get the object out of it, where we create an XML file from in your local or in your drive. So that's all about the creation of an XML file from the RESTful call. So meanwhile, I can also show you how the software works. This is a directory structure where you get to see the XML data here, a bunch of data here. So you have different XML data for different entities. So the access sub file has been created, which is not deleted since you have not used. So the know-your-kin has been run from your desktop, where you basically give the authentication and authorization has been done. It's one-time service where you do authentication and authorization. You get to see this menu, and you can also do extract one by one, or you can also extract bulk data extraction. So in my case, I've already downloaded all the data yesterday, so we can use the data which is there in the system. So that's all about the menu part of it. The so-called the Java process is the menu part of it, where it extract also it basically extract the data from the LinkedIn. So once that is done, you go and open these know-your-kin Excel folder, where you basically click on these load data. So you get to see all the data, the different entities of your LinkedIn, Connect. So once that is done, you go and save it and open the Access.wmv, where basically you use the macro to pull the data. It is basically it's a bulk insertion, where you basically insert all the tables with the data. So it takes some time. Yeah, that's it. So you can get to see all the data here. So that's about the insertion. So it's a three-step process, where you can go ahead and insert your data.
Thanks for the insightful presentation, Mr. Rajamani. Let's quickly take up the questions now. Please read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to the commendable insights. Over to you, Mr. Rajamani.
At this from Naveen Sharma, is it only the console based or the GUI is also available? At this point, you have a console based that basically you can also contact the cloud drive as well from your console. So you can also have the specific software which is kin contact component. You can run that kin contact from anywhere from any system. So it will contact the cloud drive to pull the rest of the software. So you run from the cloud as well. So you don't need to have a GUI specifically for that purpose, since it's basically a DB migration kind of thing where you don't basically use the GUI to migrate the data. So that's Parul Kohli. What is kin? Kin is people, or I would say people contact in our case. So know your contact or know your kin, know your people. That's what we named after know your kin. So what is kin extract? So kin extract is a remote component which is sitting in the drive. Basically, you have the drive component where you don't actually expose the software to the client. You hide the software in terms of a component called kin extract. You basically have the URL which connects to these softwares on the drive. So it basically extracts these the contact information for the connect. So that's kin extract. Mangesh Tiwari. What the basic role of the REST call in Java? The basic role is you update or you can have different calls, update or delete or insertion call. You can expose the REST to the you can expose the DB to the REST service. You can insert or delete, work on the data part of it. You can use the REST call in Java. Basically, you can contact the different services as well, like LinkedIn services or Facebook services as well. Can we link URL in that data part? Satya Kamal or I didn't get your question properly. Can we link URLs in the data part? I'm not sure what your question is. Rather, I don't understand what does that mean. So, and can we use a cloud? Yeah, here we use a cloud drive to access the software. Basically, I've used the Dropbox to invoke the software. Basically, is it only console based or GUI based? Naveen Sharma again. So, name of supporting OS for Know Your Kin. Since it's a console based, you can run this anywhere, even in your Linux system or any system for that matter. Is it REST service is secured? Yes, it is secured, and RESTful web services, we can have a lot of different layers on top of the RESTful web services today. So you have oAuth services, you have different services. It's been really secured as well. So you can write on top of our RESTful web services as well. So we can write the secure layer on top of the RESTful web services. Satya Kamal, or is it just about contacts, or can we link those contacts with some URL? So here we are not having the contact through URL. You have the contact backup in your local DB. So you have that contact has has different URLs as well. So it basically is based on the LinkedIn. So it's they can allow you to go through that URL for a specific contact, or you can have your contact in your local DB. Vihit Sharma, what is kin in detail? It is still ambiguous. So kin is you can see the dictionary. Actually, the kin is nothing but a people, where you get to know the people, and you know your contacts, and so for that purpose, this know your kin has been designed. So you basically invoke these contacts through your RESTful call, and you have these data backup in your system. So the privatization is much important factor these days, since as we know that a few days back we have a LinkedIn security issue, which is basically we need the contact information to be on the local machine as a data backup. Satya Kamal, or suppose I have a data related to contact, can I assume that data to be some URLs? Here you don't have a data as a URL, you have a data as an XML data in your local machine. So, and that XML data is being pulled in your in Access.db through RESTful web services. So that's what it's all about. Ashish Shivare, what is SOS KBG protocol? For what it is used? I'm not sure. I think this is not relevant to this software, so I ignore this question. Which site can I connect using this tool? Is it predefined or I can download the data from any site? You can download the data from any site. You can, but you don't have. You had to pay for the tool to use it. Mohini, I can take one more question. Is it a cloud-based software? Yes, it is a cloud-based software. It is also desktop version. You can run it from the cloud as well. So you can run it from the drive. For that matter, you can also run it from the drive, Google Drive, or you can also use the Dropbox to use your software. I want to download this current video lead generation tool using Java, Excel, and Access. No, can I use Kin to save the data about the installed software of some local user? And when requested, can I use the data to let them software? Mohini, are you online?
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Rajamani.
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Rajamani, for your session on lead generation tool using Java, Excel, and Access. It was indeed a great session.
Yep.
I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.